What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and we're finally moving for Koopmeiners. It's been taking ages, and again, against four Koopmeiners, and you don't rate him, you rate him. He's the main target, so I'm gonna rephrase it. We're finally moving for our main target. Forget about Koopmeiners for a second. You're finally moving, or the club is finally moving for the main target, and apparently they are moving fast because they want to close this deal fast, and it doesn't sound like it's gonna be fast. I will explain that in a sec. And then there is an update on Tobido that's linked with a couple of other players, and also a move that the club wants to close relatively quickly. So before you do that, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification if you are new, and let's talk about the massive offer the club needs to do to bring in Koopmeiners. Okay, so it was only like, 12 hours ago, if somebody watched the live or rewatched the live, where I was like asking the callers, what do you think about, everything moving maybe a bit slowly surrounding Koopmeiners or just the main target in general. And some were worried, some, like in the chat, like everybody was like, let's see, let's play it out. And then boom, Alfredo Pedula comes out and he says that the club understood that right now is the time has come to move fast for Koopmeiners and close that deal quickly. Now, it all sounds good until you read the entire article, and he explains basically why it's not going to go fast, because Atalanta won 50 million euros without bonuses. They are quote unquote against players included in the deal. However, they really like Rugani, so that could be an option. Then I sat back and I'm like, the rumors were that the club was willing to let Rugani go for 5 million. So that's not really much of the potential fee you're going to pay for Koopmeiners. He also said that the club wants to move on once. Rugani is probably gonna go, but also Huijsen, and that will finance this deal. It wouldn't finance the Tobido deal. That I'll talk about in a sec, but apparently it could finance this deal. It could finance the Koopmeiners deal. Again, like on the surface, it sounds like it's gonna happen, or like it's gonna happen. Like the title of he put out there is the club understood they need to push really, really quickly to get that done, and bring him in. And then you read the article and it's like, well, it's 50 million euros without bonuses basically. And I think everybody will be like, hold on, you can understand that you need to move fast, but it's not gonna go fast if that's the demand. Like, let's be completely honest, if that's what Atalanta are really demanding, it's 100% moving slow. It's not going to move fast. It's just impossible that it's going to move fast if it's 50 million. Unless the club is like, yes, we have 50 million euros in cash, the only cash we have basically to spend without making sales. And we are 1000% convinced that Koopmeiners is worth every single penny, that we definitely need to bring him in. Then yes, then it can move fast. However, there are no indications that we have those 50 million euros in cash lying around. So that's why everything becomes a bit, hold on, this sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? This doesn't sound like it's gonna move fast. However, he is the main target, and if he's the main target, we need to move it fast. We need to move quickly, because that's a player. I know he's injured right now. I think he can be back in training next week apparently. But if he's your main guy, if Motta's like, I need him, he is gonna be a key player in my team, you need to give him that player as soon as possible before the season kicks in, that he can bet in, understand what Motta wants from him, get to know his teammates. Otherwise, you're just starting on the wrong footing again. You're starting with one hand, tied behind your back, because you need to make it work basically on the fly with a player that is going to play a massive part, in your team. So you can move fast. You can understand it needs to move fast, but is it gonna move fast? Who knows? In other news, Tobido is the main target, said Pedula. Again, Huijsen, Rugani, all linked with a move. Tobido is the next one the club will open talks with. The player is extremely open to joining Juve. Actually said, yeah, I want to join. That's the move I want. Now you need to go back to Nice. You did the Thuram deal, and you need to tell Nice we're going to take another player from you, and what is the fee. Now, I've seen 25, I've seen 30, I've seen 40. So between 25 and 40 apparently. That's what it is right now. There's no real price tag, if we're being completely honest. It's just the idea of the club has identified him as a main target for the center back position, and he identified Juve as his priority, right now. A deal with him, no issue. Like with Koopmeiners, no issue. That's something the club can get done relatively calm, or they already have in Koopmeiners' case, maybe even in Tobido's case. Who knows? It would make sense if they did before they actually go to Nice. But yeah, that's the main target after missing out on Calafiori or not really being in the race for that fee for Calafiori. But then it's question marks again. They want 50 for Calafiori. You're not willing to pay that, but you're willing to pay 40 for Tobido. That doesn't add up. That means, one, Calafiori was never the main target, which I don't believe, or two, the asking price for Tobido is not really 40 million, and the club knows it can be lowered closer to 30 million or something, and that's a deal they feel comfortable in doing to add that partnership with Bremer, most likely, to the team. A player who's good in the ball, right-footed, I get it, but add something that Bremer doesn't have. Not to the extent Calafiori did, but still, add something we desperately need. If you move on Rugani, you still have Gatti, again, Diallo, you don't know. You move at Huijsen, you need to think about the future. You cannot play Danilo 38 games. Even Bremer, like, injuries happen. You need to have a backup plan. You need to have something in place to make it through the season, basically, with injuries and all those things, and just be competitive, try to be competitive in Serie A. In the Champions League, we need more quality. That's 100% needed, And to wrap up this show, a funny report on Rabiot, because apparently he's linked to Galatasaray, and apparently it's possible because we know Galatasaray, they hand one or two players the big bucks. Now, do I think Rabiot was going to do that? No. He's not going to do that. The situation with Rabiot was basically still the same. He's not on the contract at the club. The rumors are now suggesting that the offer the club made is lower than 8 million. It's closer to 6 million. And they're just, if you want to take it, you can take it. If not, then go look elsewhere, But it doesn't really make sense. You have Locatelli, you got Thuram, you got Douglas Luiz, you still have Fagioli. Miretti is still on loan here. Not on loan, So you have 4. I'm not sure the club really wants to add Rabiot. I would be absolutely stunned and a bit confused. I see them doing goodbye, Rabiot. The offers off the table, and Miretti, you're gonna stay. I have that feeling more so than the club saying, yeah, Rabiot, let's add Rabiot also to this mix. That's just my vibe. But again, he has no decision made. Euro's over. I don't care if it's 1 day or 1 minute. The Euro's over. You're still waiting. I just wanted it to be clarity, that's completely off the table, or he's actually going to stay. But only time will tell again with these things. The big news is that the club is really going to push for Koopmeiners, and they want to close it quickly. But is it possible? Let me know if you believe it's possible for the rumored fee. And like the video on your way out. Ciao.